So, Zhipu AI just dropped GLM-5 and shook the leaderboard. ByteDance is pushing Seedance 2.0 at Sora. Baidu launched BaiduWiki globally. OpenAI is rolling out ChatGPT skills, plus a new deep research upgrade. And an open source agent just scored basically human-level intelligence. This week in AI was chaos in the best way. So let's talk about it. All right, the biggest headline is GLM-5 from z.ai, also known as Zhipu AI, and it's not a small update. They kept it open source under an MIT license, which is a huge deal for companies that are tired of vendor lock-in. Now, the part that made people stare at the charts is the hallucination reliability claim. GLM-5 hit -1 on the AA Omniscience Index. And yeah, negative sounds strange, but that's actually a good thing. It means the model is extremely good at saying, "I don't know," instead of bluffing an answer. That's a 35-point leap over the last version, and reports claim it now leads the entire AI industry in reliability, even ahead of major US models, just because it refuses to guess when it's unsure. Under the hood, GLM-5 is also a big scaling jump. GLM 4.5 was around 355 billion parameters, and GLM-5 is described as 744 billion parameters using a mixture of experts setup with 40 billion active per token. Pre-training data is listed at 28.5 trillion tokens. When you're operating at that scale, training isn't only about model architecture anymore. It becomes a systems problem. How fast can you iterate? How efficiently can you do reinforcement learning? And how quickly can you teach the model to behave like an agent that completes multi-step tasks? And to actually make a model this big learn efficiently, they created their own RL engine called Slime. So here's what's actually going on. Normal reinforcement learning can slow down badly because one slow task can hold everything else back. Their new system, called Slime, fixes that by letting many training attempts run separately instead of all waiting on each other. So training moves faster because nothing gets stuck behind the slowest step. They also added a trick called April that targets one of the biggest time wasters in training, which can take up more than 90% of the process. Under the hood, it's basically 3 parts working together. One system trains the model, another generates lots of examples for it to learn from, and a central hub stores and manages all that data. They also built it so the AI can learn from long tasks where it has to try something, see what happened, adjust, and try again. More like how humans learn instead of just answering once and stopping. Then they add a deployment trick to keep inference practical. GLM-5 integrates DeepSeek Sparse Attention, DSA, to keep a 200,000 context while cutting costs. A 200,000 context window changes what enterprise AI even means, because now you can realistically throw giant docs, long briefs, multiple files, and huge code chunks into a single run, and the model can stay inside the same working context without constantly losing track. But the most enterprise-ready part of the pitch is what they're calling end-to-end knowledge work. GLM-5 has native agent mode capabilities that can turn prompts or source material directly into actual files, .docx, .pdf, and .xlsx. They position it like an office tool for the AGI era, meaning you don't get a paragraph that you still have to reformat. You get something you can actually send or use. They throw out examples like detailed financial reports, high school sponsorship proposals, and complex spreadsheets. The way they describe the workflow is basically, humans set the quality gates, the AI executes the subtasks. That's what they call agentic engineering. Benchmarks are where they try to prove this isn't just marketing. Artificial analysis ranks GLM-5 as the strongest open source model right now, and it surpasses Moonshot's Kimi-K 2.5, which only dropped about 2 weeks earlier. In Zhipu's own benchmark claims, GLM-5 hit 77.8 on SWE-bench Verified, beating Gemini 3 Pro at 76.2, and getting close to Claude Opus 4.6 at 80.9. They also highlight Vending Bench 2, described as a business simulation, where GLM-5 ranks #1 among open source models with a final balance of $4,432.12. The overall vibe is, it's not only good at reasoning, it's good at actually getting through task-like environments. Then there's the pricing, and it's aggressive. GLM-5 is live on OpenRouter as of February 11th, 2026, priced around $1 per million input tokens and $3 per million output tokens. It gets compared to a bunch of models, and the one they really want you to look at is Claude Opus 4.6, at $5 input and $25 output because that makes GLM-5 look like a bargain for frontier performance. That works out to roughly 5 times cheaper on input and almost 10 times cheaper on output than Opus 4.6. They also throw in a rumor angle. This release confirms rumors that Zhipu AI was behind Pony Alpha, a stealth model that previously crushed coding benchmarks on OpenRouter. That detail is basically there to say they've been hiding strong models in plain sight, then revealing who's behind them after the performance is already undeniable. But it's not all celebration. There's a warning from Lucas Peterson at Andon Labs, who says after reading GLM-5 traces for hours, it looks incredibly effective but less situationally aware, and it achieves goals with aggressive tactics instead of reasoning about context or learning from experience. He calls it scary and drops the paperclip maximizer reference, meaning the classic fear scenario where an autonomous AI pursues a goal so hard it causes massive harm because it doesn't understand what matters outside that objective. That ties directly into the enterprise governance section. Moving from chat to work multiplies risk. If the model can operate across apps and files autonomously, permissions and human-in-the-loop quality gates stop being nice to have and become survival gear. This same week also shows how model launches are starting to move markets, not just benchmarks. Zhipu's latest release pushed it past Moonshot on major rankings and even led to a roughly 30% price increase for its GLM coding plan after demand surged. Its shares jumped as much as 34% in Hong Kong, which signals something bigger. Investors are starting to treat new AI systems as real competitive threats to existing industries. At the same time, ByteDance is pushing Seedance 2.0, a generative video model still in testing but already getting strong reactions from demos online. Several Chinese labs are rushing launches ahead of an expected DeepSeek reveal during the February holiday window, with Alibaba's Qwen 3.5 also on the way. It's basically a traffic race right now. Companies are spending aggressively to lock in users early, offering incentives and promotions to capture attention while competition heats up and the performance gap with Western models keeps narrowing. While that's happening, Baidu launched BaiduWiki, a Wikipedia-style encyclopedia for global users. It's available in English, Spanish, French, Russian, and Japanese, and it went live earlier this week based on online records. The platform is said to contain around 1 million entries, translated with AI tools, and it's positioned as an international version of BaiduWiki, which has over 30 million entries domestically. The context around BaiduWiki is where the tension shows up. BaiduWiki follows Chinese government censorship rules, which can lead to politically sensitive entries being missing, shortened, or locked. One study showed the BaiduWiki entry on artist Ai Weiwei was much shorter than the Chinese Wikipedia version. It has also faced criticism for hosting pseudoscience, running commercial promotions, and copying from Wikipedia without proper attribution. On the product side, Baidu is ending support for the standalone Baidu app and moving access into a mini program inside the main Baidu app, describing it as part of an AI-driven shift toward better user experience. At the same time, Baidu introduced a global search feature for Ernie Assistant, meant to give users access to international destinations and information. They plan to fold those global search capabilities into other services, including AI and cloud offerings, to push international growth. They also mentioned broader overseas rollouts like digital humans, meaning AI-generated avatars that present and speak, and no-code app builders. Baidu claims it indexes hundreds of billions of pieces of high-quality global content for this global search, though the supporting materials around that claim remain unclear. They also cite a real traction number. Ernie Assistant passing 200 million monthly active users attributed to reporting echoed across multiple outlets. That user scale matters because it gives Baidu distribution leverage even if the product has trust questions in the background. Now, jump to OpenAI's side, because there's a product shift that looks small but changes how people actually use research tools. OpenAI reportedly revamped deep research in ChatGPT, moving it away from the run it and wait vibe and into a guided research session you can actually steer. The update lets users constrain research to specific websites, bring in context from connected apps, and interrupt mid-run to add requirements or redirect the work without restarting. They also improved how reports are presented, with a dedicated full-screen review view, so citation-heavy results aren't cramped when you're trying to verify sources. It's built for repeat research where accuracy matters, like for analysts, founders, journalists, or marketers. Limiting sources helps when you trust certain sites. Connectors pull in context from your own workflow, and being able to interrupt mid-run saves time once you see where the results are heading. Behind the scenes, they say OpenAI moved the deep research backend to GPT 5.2, aligning it with a strategy focused on agent-like workflows, browsing, synthesis, tool access, and iterative control, not just single-shot answers. They mention anticipation around GPT 5.3, especially after GPT 5.3 codecs on the coding side, though timing and whether ChatGPT will get a GPT 5.3 switch soon remains unclear. The other OpenAI rumor is the one that could shift power users hard, a first-party skills layer, basically a section in ChatGPT where you can install and edit skills. The way it's described is like workflow instructions packaged as reusable modules with constraints and expected outputs, so the assistant follows a consistent playbook instead of reinventing how it works every time. If that ships, it becomes a native way for teams to standardize workflows, share internal procedures, and maintain consistent results without building a full custom agent stack. Finally, the open source agent space pulled off a completely different kind of flex. There's a project called OpenGLM, and two agents built on it, DeepAgent and Deep Search, are suddenly topping major leaderboards. It started with meme-level hype around something nicknamed Claudebot, later renamed OpenClaw. Then the jokes stopped once people saw the scores. DeepAgent hit 91.69% on the GAIA benchmark, which tests real agent skills like planning, reasoning, tool use, and problem solving. Humans average about 92% there, so that score is basically sitting right next to human level. For comparison, older models like GPT-4 reportedly landed around 15% even with plugins. What makes it impressive is that GAIA isn't easy to cheat. It scores the whole process, not just the final answer, so you actually have to execute tasks correctly. One demo shows DeepAgent taking a cooking video, pulling out ingredients, finding them online, comparing prices, adding them to a cart, and then handing control back right before payment. That's the kind of clean, real-world workflow people have been expecting from agents. The reason it works so well comes down to system design, not just model size. It runs two internal loops, one that plans and executes steps, and another that watches results and fixes mistakes. If something goes wrong, it can roll back, adjust, and try again instead of blindly continuing. It also keeps layered memory, conversations, rules, project info, and compresses context so long tasks don't fall apart halfway through. On top of that, it connects tools through a unified gateway, which keeps everything organized, trackable, and stable instead of chaotic API calls. Deep Search, the other agent, is leading the BrowseComp Plus benchmark with about 80% accuracy, which focuses on deep research tasks. It handles multi-step searches, cross-checks sources, tracks entities, and explores multiple reasoning paths at once, then prioritizes the ones that actually look promising. In simple terms, instead of guessing a path and hoping it works, it explores several at once and keeps the smartest one. That's everything for today. Leave a comment with what you think hits hardest this week. Subscribe if you want more of these breakdowns. Thanks for watching, and catch you in the next one.